Do we need God to make sense of life?
Absolutely not. That will do for an answer.
Well, God is what you use to make sense of your life, by definition. This is one of the things I learned from Jung. You have a hierarchy of values. You have to. Otherwise, you can't act or you're painfully confused. You have a hierarchy of values. Whatever is at the top of that hierarchy of values serves the function of God for you. Now, it may be a God that you don't believe in or a God that you can't name, but it doesn't matter because it's God for you. And what you think about God has very little impact on how God is acting within you, whatever God it is that you happen to be, let's say, following.
Do we need God to make sense of life?
Absolutely not. That will do for an answer.
Well, God is what you use to make sense of your life, by definition. This is one of the things I learned from Jung. You have a hierarchy of values. You have to. Otherwise, you can't act or you're painfully confused. You have a hierarchy of values. Whatever is at the top of that hierarchy of values serves the function of God for you. Now, it may be a God that you don't believe in or a God that you can't name, but it doesn't matter because it's God for you. And what you think about God has very little impact on how God is acting within you, whatever God it is that you happen to be, let's say, following.
I'm going to play this a third time because I don't think you get it. I don't think you've heard it. So guess what? I want you to get it and I want you to hear it. I just want you to hear it. Let me play that one more time.
Do we need God to make sense of life?
Absolutely not. That will do for an answer.
Well, God is what you use to make sense of your life, by definition. This is one of the things I learned from Jung. You have a hierarchy of values. You have to. Otherwise, you can't act or you're painfully confused. You have a hierarchy of values. Whatever is at the top of that hierarchy of values serves the function of God for you. Now, it may be a God that you don't believe in or a God that you can't name, but it doesn't matter because it's God for you. And what you think about God has very little impact on how God is acting within you, whatever God it is that you happen to be, let's say, following.
Y'all heard that? This is very, very interesting and very interesting because we're talking today about the gods you are worshiping. The problem, though, is that many people are worshiping gods without knowing it. I did a message maybe last Thursday, I believe it was, and I spoke about ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. And what I said in that message is that I didn't really understood what that meant. I thought ignorance just run rampant. You know, when they said bliss on a football field, all the players just keep going. They blissing. They keep going. So my understanding, limited understanding at the time, was that bliss means to go. Just keep going. Like the footballers charging to get to the quarterback. No, ladies and gentlemen. When the term ignorance is bliss simply means that you don't know something and you just don't worry about it. And I can tell you right now how many times I've been at that place in my lack of understanding where I said to myself, it doesn't concern me. There's many times I've done that. Let's adjust this a little bit to there. There we go. Because I want to be up close and personal to you here. Many times I've done that. That doesn't concern me, so I concern myself about it. If a fire is in a building and you're in that building, but the fire is, say, 15, 20 stories above you, does that fire concerns you? Or would you have the mindset that doesn't concern me? It's 30, 20 stories up, doesn't concern me. You know, when I think about 9/11, I think about those people in the building. I remember the story when you see it on the news, and my condolences go out to everyone who lost a family member, friend, relative, associate in the building. I remember where I was. I was downtown Brooklyn, the courthouse. I was in the courthouse, downtown Brooklyn, with my ex-wife, going through child support. And we were in the building, and I was so prepared that day. I was so prepared. I knew exactly how much money I was going to pay for child support. I had all the paperwork. It was awesome. I was looking forward to a great time because I want to support my children. A father should support their children. I was the one who went down to court to tell the judge that I got a job and I want to support my children. They were they were amazed. One police officer told me, he says he's been doing this job for so many years and he's never seen one person walked into the courthouse and say the words that I just said. You're supposed to support your kids. And I remember the time came when we were in the courthouse and we're sitting down, getting ready, to hear the judge going through the whole situation. And then they came in and rushed us out. Hey, gotta go, gotta go. And I said, what's happening? And I said, we're under attack. What attack? Thought it was in the building. Everybody started rushing out the building, grabbed my ex-wife, said, let's go. We got out the building. And it was crazy. Wow. So, if you know where the courthouse is downtown Brooklyn, you would know it's right on that little stretch to get onto the Brooklyn Bridge. And right over the Brooklyn Bridge, to the left of the Brooklyn Bridge, is the World Trade Center. Wow. And they said a plane hit the building. I'm thinking, okay, it could be an accident. But of course, the second plane hit, and I was like, whoa, this ain't no accident. And wow. The year America was changed and the world was changed forever. My point to what I was just saying, though, just remembering this, and just again, my condolences for all who lost a family member, associate, friend, was, when the plane hit, it hit up on the top stories up there, way up top. There were still people in the building. I was told from watching the news that some people were leaving the building and they were telling me, it's okay, you're secure. I guess people were going back into the building. I think to think about people running out of the building and then firefighters running into the building is crazy. That day when the building fell, it concerns everyone. The whole world was affected. The whole world. Just like today, this coronavirus affects the whole world, right? One concern for one is a concern for all. I guess that's what I'm saying. So when something come at you, even though you might feel like it does not concern you, you better pay attention to what is said. And that's how I live my life, man. It don't concern me, but I still want to know. Go ahead, man. You got my ear. Because you can't prepare for something you don't know. My name is Meka Alban Yahasharal, aka Mike Sewell. Please like, share this page, follow us on all these social medias. On Facebook, please don't forget to follow us at Michael L. Sewell SR. On YouTube at Michael Sewell SR. And on TikTok at Michael L. Sewell SR.2. And please help me to get my other page on TikTok up and going. We want to get that to 1,000 followers, so we can actually go live, just in case. Just always good to have a backup system so we can continue to meet. Also, would like to hear from you. And if that's something you would like to do, to call in to the studio, my number is 207-844-9653. 207-844-9653. 207-844-9653. But don't forget again to like us and smash the hell out of the subscribe button on YouTube. All right. For those who are joining me, my name is Mikael Ban Yahosharal, aka Mike Sewell, and this is Truth Matters Broadcasting, where we discern the truth about religion, the kingdom of God, and the church. Truth Matters Broadcasting, T.M.B, is an online ministry where we educate for your education, give you information that will change your life. I try not to be religious, ladies and gentlemen, because that is one of the biggest problems we're having today. We believe that our religion is the portal to our success, to this God that we worship. But many people ain't reading the book. The Bible is not a religious book. It was never meant to be a religious book. The Bible is a historical book inspired with some inspirational writings from the Most High God, the only true God, to a people he called Yahosharal, after his own name, Yahweh. Yet this Bible was taken and sliced up and diced up and add and omit and translated and retranslated and now transliterated and then transobliterated. So though it holds some inspirational writings, it is not all inspired by the one true God, because what he actually said is misunderstood, mistranslated, mistransliterated, and transobliterated. So you will hear some things here that will make you go puke and make you probably want to hate me. A matter of fact, Yahoshua, the one we mistakenly call Jesus, have already told us that the world will be, we will be deceived, because many false prophets shall rise. The only difference why we are not deceived is because we are truly his disciples. We hold to what he said, and because of that, we know the truth and we're set free. And now we can go out under those same truth, same commands, and preach the good news. I told you before that the very word gospel was not meant to be religious. It's not a religious word. When we say the gospel means good news, yes. And that's why it's used here, but it is not a religious word. The word gospel was used in ancient times as good news of military conquest, military victory. So when two countries goes to war, and the winner, those who would be sent back to the headquarters with the good news. So it's called gospel because it's really good news, but the term and how it's used doesn't mean what it means. Here's something that you've heard many times, but you never know that there was a part to it. Jack of all trade, but a master of none. You've heard that many, many times. I've heard that many times growing up. So what that implies to me, it implies that you should never try to learn 15 different things at once, or, you know, have 15 different trades or something. Focus on one. That's what it implies to me. And for years and years and years, I thought that was the end of it, until recently, when I found out that there's more to that saying than meets the eye. What's the end part of that? Jack of all trade, master of none, but still, come on, ladies and gentlemen, but still is better than a master of one. Woo! Whoa! Now imagine if someone taught us that way back then. We would have the mindset that we can do more than just one thing. I heard another inspirational message this morning where the guy said, a man who's on a journey, a man who loves to walk, will be much more happier and get to much more places than a man who is, or a man who loves the destination. You see, if your mindset is to get to from, say, Maine to New York, then all your mindset is going to be on is getting to New York. That's it. How many of us live our lives like that? Where our mindset is just to get to that destination, get to that husband. Man, if I only have a husband. Man, if I only have a wife. Man, if I only have this job, or only pass this college degree and a master's degree. If I only, and you set your whole life on that destination, but you forget something that's most important. You forget the journey. Let's be men and women who live in the moment. Yesterday at work, I was having such a wonderful time. I said to my son, comes up and have lunch with me every day, which is so cool. My son works at my job. We got I got him a job at my job, and he comes up and have lunch with me. A little quality time. It's awesome. So in the office where we eat, there's about 3 other offices there. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 plus mine. And when my son come in, we have this greetings that we do, like bop, bop, bop. Hug, we hold for a minute. And I can look around at the men that are around me. I can see that they're not used to that kind of stuff. So a way of influencing and a way of opening up the door for the true good news is always to speak without words. Oftentimes, I love to talk, and as you guys can see, that's why I have Truth Matters Broadcasting. I'm a minister. I was born to this. But I'm learning also that you can reach people without words. Do you know that your body is a language, and your body can speak? Your emotions, your feelings, the way you carry yourself, all of that speak volume. A wise man once says, a picture speaks 1,000 words. So if a picture speaks 1,000 words, then I can speak even louder and more with a picture. So I carry myself a certain way. I behave a certain way. I act a certain way. When I enter the room, you must know that I'm there. You're supposed to hear me before you see me. I'm a minister of the good gospel of God, the military victory. And believe it or not, he's coming back to fight. And he's not going to lose. So you have to figure out which side of the battle you're going to be on. Because there's a war. There's a war coming. Yahweh is bringing a war to earth. Because those who claim to possess the earth think they own it. And they serve a God who don't want to give it up. Yahweh is bringing the fight. I'm telling you, most people are not reading this historical book. This is not a a biblical book as to what you understand biblicality to be. The very word Bible just means books of all books. The Bible means library. That's what it means. It just means library. But when we hear the Bible, we think, oh man, gotta be, it's a collection of books. There's 66 of them in there. Why 66 anyway? But anyway, the Father speaks to our knowledge 1,880 commands, but there's 66 books in the Bible. There should be one book for every commandment. But who's listening anyway? So this historical evidence right here, this historical book tells us his story. Historical, his story, his, not ours, his story. And it's about a people, about a God who calls him to himself a people that would worship him. Because there are many gods, at least false gods. They're not gods at all, but they're in the place of God on earth. And that's what it means. That's the word, the term antichrist or anti-God. It means they're in the place of, or they are against. And if you're in the place of, you're against. Jack of all trade, master of none, but still is better than a master of one. The journey, ladies and gentlemen, the journey. You are not there yet. Type out, I'm not there yet. Because if you think you're there, you have another thing coming. You're not there yet. You have information that led you to the next phase, the next step of your life. You remember back in the days when cell phone came out? You remember? Anybody remember the first cell phone? I'm talking about the military cell phones, those big ones that you have to carry on your back. You remember those ones? Then they chop it down to this big old thing, like you have to hold it with two hands. It was so big, right? And then it comes small and small and small. And look at what we can do with cell phones today. It's crazy. Huh? Imagine if we just stay there. Imagine if we stay with that big old cell phone on our backs. How many people would want one? Carrying around that stuff all day long. The wheel, the invention of the wheel. Just imagine, look at where we have come from. Something you need to stop and just take a look at where Yahweh has brought you from. Because it's going to help you and it's going to put you and bring you to a place where gratitude. You have to be in a place of gratitude. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about one of my mentors, and I call him mentors. Never met the guy, but I consider him to be a mentor. It's Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey came out of the trenches, man. And let me tell you something. I'm always interested in the story of a man who came out of the trench. I heard another story that said that where he says, tough times make great men. And that great man then have a Mercedes or a Bentley, and then your children will drive a Mercedes and nice cars, Ferrari, whatever. And then your great grandchildren might end up back working as I can't remember how the story went, but it's basically was saying that for instance, let's use me as an example. I saw how I grew up. I was there. I seen it. I seen my grandparents and my mom. Let's go back just to my two generations on my grandparents. My grandmother worked like a man. She worked like a slave to get us to where we are today because there was no father there. So my grandmother became daddy, right? And she was a hard worker. She had a restaurant, man. And let me tell you something. We're talking about maybe 3-4 hours sleep a night, 7 days a week. She worked so hard and get us everything. We live like kings. We were in need of nothing. Every year we get new shoes and new uniforms. Till the point when I started growing up, I said, Grandma, we don't need that anymore. Because my last year one is still good. And but one thing my grandmother was a giver. So she would take those old, uniforms that we wear to school and give it to someone who didn't have uniforms. But what I'm trying to tell you that my grandmother worked so hard to make sure that we have the best life ever. That's why she took us here to America to even further that dream of having a better life than she had. And she worked hard. And I grew up in it. I saw that. I have that mindset. Thanks be to Yahweh. I have that mindset. My mindset today is not to work hard though, because I'm learning from my grandmother. I'm learning from those who have gone before me. We're at the age today where you don't have to work hard. You just got to work smart. What people consider to be hard work today in America, come on, man. Go ask my ancestors what hard work was when they were in the fields digging and picking the cottons. Go ask them what hard work is. Y'all don't work hard. We don't work hard. We think we work hard. We may work harder than somebody else, right? But we don't know nothing about hard work. Go ask our ancestors who built the pyramids. Go ask our ancestors who were a slave for 430 years in the ancient world and still are slaves today. Go ask them about hard work. So don't come to me and talk about your hard worker. Who are you comparing your hard work to? I'm so grateful for their hard work. And I don't take that for granted. My grandmother's legacy rests on my shoulders. It is my responsibility to teach that to my children. I'm going to share this with you. I'm going to share something personal. Can I share something personal with y'all today? Because you are my family, right? I'm going to share something personal. So I got a phone call this morning without using any words, any names. I got a phone call this morning on the Sabbath day here. And the phone call that came in this morning was a phone call asking me for money. Now, if you know anything about Mike Sewell, Meka Alban Yahosharal, I will never enable a person, ever. If you're in need, I will be there for you. If I'm in the place where I can be of help to you, you damn sure I'm going to help you. That's a promise I made to the Most High God. When you bless me, I will bless others. But I understand something about this God that I worship, man. He said, if you ask, it shall be given. If you seek, you shall find. If you knock, the door shall be open unto you. Most of us do a lot of asking, but for what purpose? Some ask so they can spend on themselves. Some ask so they can show off, what they got to others. Some ask because they truly need and they're looking for help. Now, one thing I come to realize, ladies and gentlemen, and I said this at work the other day, and it was crazy because when I said it, I see people looking at me as strange, but I said, I don't need anything. One of the things that we have this attitude that we need this and we need that to do this, and I don't need nothing. I don't deserve anything. I know you. Well, I deserve this. I deserve that. You don't deserve anything. Because you see, me personally, and I'm speaking from my own experience, I will come to the fact that I don't deserve anything. I'll tell you why. Because I sinned against the great high God, the God I serve. I deserve to be killed. I deserve to be banished. I deserve to be away out of his presence. But because of his mercy and his love, I am now alive. So I'm grateful. I live in gratefulness. Steve Harvey, one of my mentors, said, I kind of started to look like him though, right? Well, I don't have a mustache, but anyway, Steve Harvey says we should not think we are at a place where we have to do this and we have to do that, but to be in a mindset that I get to do that, man. Come on now. I get to do that. I get to get up this morning. I get to brush my teeth. I get to fix up my hair, my beard. I get to put on some clothes. I get to sit here on T.M.B. preaching the gospel of the good news, of the victory that is in the God that I serve. I get to do these things. I'm telling you, I changed my mindset. I get to enjoy the journey and live the moment. When I was at work, going back to work, I hug my son. And I said to my son, kiss me. Give me a holy kiss. Not on the lips, but on the cheek. Give me a holy kiss. And he's like, oh, no, Dad. No. You know, my son's 22 years old. Big dude. If you see my son, he's almost bigger than me. Right? And all the guys in there, they're looking at me weird. I'm like, listen, the scripture said, greet one another with a holy kiss. And that's my son. And I said, oh, give me a holy kiss. It was fun. We were having fun. But the mindset, ladies and gentlemen, the mindset that we have, my son would not kiss me. My son would not kiss me. And he said to me, I've grown past that, Daddy. You know, in the scripture, Yahushua said, unless you be converted and be like a little child, you will not enter the kingdom of Yahweh. Let that sit a little bit. Unless he be converted and become like one child, like this baby, you'll not enter the kingdom. My son said, I have grown past that. And we laughed, and I looked him right in the eye and I said, I'm 51 years old, and I have not grown past that. You know, I have a friend and a brother, Ricky George. Ricky don't look like me. His skin is not my skin. We're totally different from totally different side of the world. And every time Ricky see me, we hug, we kiss each other. I kiss him, he kiss me. My partner, Adrian Reyes, from Kings and Queens. He is the same age as my oldest son. And every time he sees me, he hugs me and he kisses me. So here's two people in my life that hugs me and kiss me. Edril Sandy. Not every time, but sometimes I kiss him, sometimes he kisses me. But my own son will not kiss me. My own son. I have grown past that, he says. So now I've used that very words he said to me back to him. I said, whenever you come to me for advice or something you think I can help you with, which I know in my heart that you can do and accomplish, I'm going to tell you, son, you've grown past that. You've grown past coming to me for things that you can solve on your own. And I looked at him right in the eye. And in my heart, I'm not really serious about that stuff, but I wanted him to see how your words can stunt your growth. Your words can stunt your help. Your words can and will be used against you. And your words, you will give an account for your. It's written in the scriptures. Be careful what you say. Speak good things about yourself. Speak good things about others. Use positive words. You can make a decision, man. When you make a decision, then Yahweh will know what to do with you because he cannot go against your will. You got to make a decision about your life. That is why I'm where I'm at today, because I've decided. Say, I've decided. I have decided to obey God. Do I fall short of his glory? Many, many times. Do I let it bother me that much? No. Because I get to go back to him and say, Father, I've sinned against you. Today we're talking about the gods you are worshiping. This is powerful stuff here. So let me tell you about the phone call that I got this morning, and then I'm going to talk about the gods that you're worshiping. Because when nothing is happening for you and nothing is changing, and you claim to be worshiping this God for what? But you're still in the same position you're in. You're still destitute, poor, wretched. You're still in that place. Something, come on. Not this God who says, I will bless you. I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. When you look at your life, you must see the presence of this God that you serve in your life. And religion makes you poor, man. Religion makes you poor and love it. The poorer you are, the more spiritual you are. You ever notice that? That's what religion does to people. The poorer you are, the more religious you are. Let me try something here. Okay, that's not gonna. Oh, all right, good. Right. So I got a phone call this morning, and the person on the other end called me. And whenever I see this number, I know there's a need, because I don't get a phone call saying, "Hey, how you doing today? How's your day today? Is there anything I can help you with today? How can I make your day better? How can I encourage you?" Never once I got that phone call. So whenever I see that number, I know, okay, what do you want? You know? And the conversation goes something like this. I need to borrow $60. So I said to the person, it's high time you stop borrowing money. So you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision to stop borrowing money. Because to borrow money means that you're going to owe that money. You're going to have to pay it back. Now I have the money. I could have given the person the money. I have I have money. I could have given it to it. But there's a saying that if you give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day. But if you teach the man how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. I add a little bit more to that. Remember, I always tell you there's always more to the story, right? So I add a little bit more to that. So you can give the man the fish, feed the man for a day. Here's the more to the story. If you give a man a fish, I promise you, I can promise you this, you will have to give him another fish. And that goes for the sisters, right? If you give a sister a fish, I promise you, you will have to give that sister another fish. So unless you're prepared to give another fish, your one-time giving would be of no real value. So when you're going to help somebody, prepare to help them all the way. If you come to me to borrow money, you come to me for something, you best believe you're going to get a lecture. Not a lecture, but you're going to get a talking to. I want to know some things, because you've put yourself in a position where you're now subordinate to me, because you're looking for something from me. And if you're looking for something from me, you're going to get something. That's just how I roll. I don't know if that's how you roll, but that's how I roll. I'm a minister of the gospel, and I want to make your life better. Because I remember when I was destitute. I remember when I used to borrow money. I remember when I wheeled and dealed, robbed Peter to pay Paul. And I remember I've been doing that my whole life. I'm good at it. I'm an expert at that. So I know a thing or two. I've made some decisions and my life has changed. Because there's a God in heaven that says, if you ask, it shall be given. If you seek, you shall find. If you knock, the door shall be open. The one continuum, ladies and gentlemen, the one continuum in those three statements, you have to do something. Type do something. Come on now. See, that's the biggest problem. The guy who came to me this morning was doing something. He was doing something. He picked up the phone. He dialed my number. And he asked me. So he did something. You have to ask yourself the question now. How many phone calls he made this morning before he got to my phone? Or am I the first phone call he made this morning? Now, one thing I've learned in life, you don't ask something of someone who cannot do it. You don't ask information from someone who don't have the information. You're always going to ask someone who can do something for you. So that person knew I could do it. But the person said to me, every time I call you, man, there's always a lecture. There's always a story. So I said to the person, I said, because you have not learned from the stories. Because you have not learned from the lectures. So if you have not learned the lesson, what do you think is going to happen? You have to repeat the class. Did anybody hear me just now? If you didn't learn the lessons, you're going to repeat the class. That's just common sense. So if you learn the lessons, then you will not have to repeat the class. You will be able to teach it. Because in learning, you will teach. And in teaching, you will learn. Why do you think I like to come up here and talk? I learn so much things when I listen to myself speak. You know how many times I go back and watch what I said? Because I'm telling you guys, I'm inspired to speak. I don't write this down. I got this written nowhere. I write down some things, right? Look at that. Y'all can see that. Let me see if you can see that. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let's put this. You're probably gonna see it backwards. You know that? Why not me? Let's see if you can see it over here. See that? That's my book. From 2014, I picked up this composition book and I wrote some things in it. Why not me? And I looked at my life and I only gone but a few pages. I don't got much. Just gone but this much page out of it. And I wrote, why not me? I wrote some things about myself. I looked at myself and I wrote some things. Why not me? You know, people always say, why is this happening to me? Why not you? You were chosen. Should it happen to someone else? If you hit the lottery today, you bought the ticket and you hit the lottery, would you say, why is this happening to me? You wouldn't say that now, would you? So why not you? Why can't you get some bad things happening to you so you can overcome those bad things, so you can be in a place where you can now teach somebody to overcome their bad things? Why you just want all good things to happen to you? How are you going to learn? You got to fail at some things. Be good at failing. You know, you hear that, you think it's crazy. Don't be afraid to fail. Be good at it. Learn from it. Man, look at the people who fail in life and fail on attempts. I think about this guy, Hershey. Mr. Hershey filed for bankruptcy 7 times, or 6 times. He kept going back. Start something, build it up, didn't work, file for bankruptcy. 7 times. 6 times. He kept going back. He kept going back. Start something, build it up, build it up, build it up, didn't work, file for bankruptcy. 7 times. He kept going back. He kept going back. Start something, build it up, build it up, build it up, didn't work, file for bankruptcy. You know, usually when you file for bankruptcy, your life is over. You can't get this. You can't. He did it again. He found another way. He found a way. Go do something else. File for bankruptcy. File for bankruptcy. File for bankruptcy. File for bankruptcy. And then he stumbled upon a chocolate. Can you go into a store right now and don't find a Hershey's chocolate? Men who changed the world. I think about Colonel Sanders, man. I mean, stole the recipe. However, his work brought Kentucky Fried Chicken to where it's at today. Can you go into a country and don't see Kentucky Fried Chicken? McDonald's, you know the story. The brothers got snuffed out a little bit. But the guy who brought McDonald's to another level did some things. Making decisions, y'all. Now, let's go back to the phone call because I want to really get into some of this God stuff here. So the phone call came in. Of course, person called looking for something from me. Now you have you want something from me? I'm going to give you something. I'll give you the fish and feed you for the day. I'm going to teach you also how to fish. So here's my saying. The saying is, you give somebody a fish, you feed him for a day. But if you teach the person to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So you have a choice. Can you give the fish, feed him for a day, or teach him fish? It's a choice. Give or teach. I just add something to it. I'm going to give you the fish, and I'm going to teach you how to fish. And I'm going to keep supporting you by giving you another fish while I'm teaching you how to fish. And I'm giving you a third fish. I'm hoping by the time I get to the third fish, you should be a fisherman by then. Maybe the second fish. But I'm not going to enable you. I'm going to look for results. I'm going to look for results to make sure that you're actually out there fishing. I'm going to be out there fishing with you. I'm not just going to send you. I'm going to be out there fishing with you. Because my goal is to truly help you to get to where you need to go. So long story short, the person was upset with me. Because the person said, every time I call you, it's a lecture. So I told him, I said, well, son, don't call me. Because every time you call me, you will get a lecture. But before we get to that point, I said to this person, I can show you how to not borrow again. I can show you. I said, give me 3 months and you will never borrow any money from anyone ever again. 3 months, I said to him. And he started to go on, I have this and I'm helping this and I'm helping that and I'm doing this. I'm saying, son. Of course, now you know I'm talking about my son. I said, listen to me, son. So listen to me. Yesterday's gone. You can't change yesterday. You can't change yesterday. You just can learn from it. You can use yesterday as a school and use today to master it. So we can't do nothing about yesterday other than to learn from it. We surely can't do nothing about tomorrow. But let's prepare for it. Let's be prepared that when tomorrow comes, we can't stop the rain, but we can surely prepare for the rain. We can't fall the rain, but we can prepare to feel to receive the rain. You got to do something. I want to show you because I looked at my life when I was in a basement. I was in a basement, man. Somebody's basement. Y'all know my story. I was in somebody's basement. And that's where the great God Yahweh put me, because I needed to learn some things. And in that basement, I've learned how to make decisions. I learned how to make decisions, and I learned how to call upon the name of the God that I serve. And you know the crazy thing, I didn't even know his name at the time. But he knows me. And he took me out of the basement. You see, when you make a decision, ladies and gentlemen, then Yahweh can work in you because you made a decision. He can't go against your will. If you understand these fundamentals, he cannot go against your will. If he does something for you you don't want, it's him going against your will. You have to put your requests. What was it? Write the plan and make it plain. It's in the Bible. Write the plan. I wrote the plan. I made it plain. Ladies and gentlemen, everything I wrote in here, I think 90% of what I wrote. Steve Harvey told me to write 300 things in here. I can't even get to 300 yet. Because I'm like, what else do I want? What else do I want? Like, I feel like I'm coming to what I want. And I'm like, I don't want to just write something. So I'm going to have to be thinking about what I want. But I looked at some of the things I wrote in here. How I want to be debt free, and how much money I want to make, and you know, the house I want to buy, and the size of the house, and how it's supposed to look. And I'm telling you, Yahweh has blessed me with more than what I wrote. And now I'm working on the things I wrote in the book. And I'm not going ahead of myself. I'm making the decision, and I'm attacking one thing at a time. I'm not focusing my mind on 50 different things. I got step by step, plan, time frame that I'm trying to accomplish these things. Yesterday, I was in the new store that we're opening up, and they had some tape on the ground, man. It was difficult to get up. And I spent about 2 hours trying to take those tape so I could buff the floor. And I'm looking at the time, and I said to myself, oh my God, if I stay here any longer, man, I'll never get the floor buff. And I just decided, you know what? I have one last tape, but it's a long tape. We make an L shape, like it comes this way and go that way. And I was able to get the leg part of the foot part of the L. I was able to get that off, but that leg part of the L was so long. I'm like, nah, I don't have the time and the patience. I was getting impatient. So I just stopped. I sat back. I leaned up on the wall, take a breather. I look out in the heavens. Because I was getting pissed, y'all. I was getting mad. Because I came to buff the floor. I didn't came to remove no paint, no tape off the ground. I came to buff. But here's the thing. I can't buff the floor unless I remove the paint. So though I was getting pissed at the fact that the thing was taking so long, it was an obstacle in my way. I had to move it. I had to do it. I had to suck it up. And when I took my breather, I looked outside and I said, thank you, Yah. Oh, I get an opportunity to do this. And I started to become grateful again. And then it's still taking me a long time. And I'm looking at the time. I said, all right, I got to get some buffing done. So I decided to buff the floor with that tape there. I said, I'll come back to that long one this another time. But I got to wash this floor. And I just went in and I washed the floor. And I was able to wash the floor and mop the floor. And I looked at the tape and I thanked Yahweh. And I said, I'll get you tomorrow. But the floors were done. The objective for which I went there was over. And I'm so grateful and thankful for Yahweh for that. Sometimes in life, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get to a place where there's going to be some tape on your floor you're trying to buff. You can get mad and you can cuss and you can get angry. Doesn't matter. You getting mad, getting angry, doesn't change the circumstance. You can pray from now till next year. Yahweh is not going to move that tape. He's not going to do it. Maybe he's the one that put the tape there in the first place. And that tape is in your life for a reason, to bring you to the next level of your life, which is buffing the floor. Maybe you're going to have to move on a little bit, but you're going to come back to that tape. I don't care how far you go. As long as you're going to buff that floor, you're going to have to deal with that tape. So you can deal with it now. You can deal with it later. I tell you, I told my kids this already. I said, listen, while they were growing up, I was training them from they were small. I never had no daddy, man. So I was the daddy to my children that I never had. And even when, 4 of my kids through my first marriage was, taken from me at a very young age, I didn't grow them up. I left, the oldest one was 8 when we got divorced. I missed out on their lives. And, when we get a connection, I always tell my kids, I said, one day you're going to come to an age where you're going to know the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you what happened between your mom and I. I'm going to tell you the truth, not my side of the story, not, whoa, what your mother did. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the story. And I remember I said, on your 18th birthday, all of you going to know the story. And I waited till the oldest were old enough and they have a sense of understanding. And I called them up. I said, I can tell you all the story at once, or I can tell you to you individually. And they said, Dad, tell it to us individually. Hey, Daniel, how you doing? And I told them, starting with the first one to the second one to the third one, and the story took 3 hours. I told them the story, guys. I didn't tell them that your mother did this and your mother did that and I did this. I told them the story from the first day I met their mother. My mindset, my attitude, my action, my love. I told them the story. Going to church from the first pregnancy, the first affair, everything. I told them the story. It took 3 hours, and each individual one. And it's crazy because when they grow up, when they were at the age, they could understand. And now they look back in their life and they put the whole story together and draw their own conclusion. I said, I'm not telling you this story to hate your mom. I'm not telling you this story to hate your dad. I'm telling you this story because I want you to know the truth. You decide what you want to do after that. They all heard the same story for 3 hours straight. So I spent 12 hours on the 4 kids. And then they talk amongst themselves and they knew the truth. And they said, Dad, I can't believe that you went through all of that and still smile. So yeah, I smile because I'll look for a brighter day. I never let my circumstances determine, even to the point where I felt really, man, I felt suicidal. I felt like my life had no meaning, no purpose. Can't get out of debt. Nothing's going to change for me. These are the things I used to tell myself, guys. So that's what I'm telling you. When I speak to you here on Truth Matters Broadcasting, I'm not looking for your likes. I'm not looking for your follow. The only reason why I say like, share, and follow the page is because I want you to hear more, and I want more people to hear and get the information. But I'm not interested in you following me. I'm interested in you following him because he's the one that brought me out of all of the turmoil that I was in. He's the one who kept me and brought me here today and put me in my office. He's the one that does that. So I was telling myself all these negative things. And as I tell myself more negative things, I was going down and down and down. And then when he got a hold of my life, I start telling myself positive things. I will get out of debt. I used to say I will never get out of debt. And I was getting into more debts and more debts. Now I said to myself, I'm going to get out of debt. That I remember one time my wife and I, we went to with my new wife now. Thank God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Afia. I said, I got some money in my 401k. I was able to get some money out of my 401k. And I was so happy just to see that money. It was like wonderful. I'm like, oh man, this is so good. having this lump sum here, just like, and I wanted to go buy a better car because my car was not good, and I wanted to get some better this and better that, but I have all this debt. And I talked to my wife, and my wife said, we should pay off our debts. I'm like, but honey, I said, no, we need to pay off our debt, but we're not gonna have no money. We don't have no backup. We have no cushion. Let's pay off our debts. It was a hard decision for me because I didn't want to lose that money. I wanted to keep it there and hold it in my hand. But guess what? You can't hold water in your hands. Money is like water. You trust me when I tell you, something is coming for the money, because money is designed to move like water. And if it's not moved, I'm telling you, it's going to drain right out of your hands. If you put it in your pocket, it's going to create a hole. Yahweh is going to create a hole and it's going to leak out of your pocket, because money is going to become your love. It's going to become your focus, your attention. You put it in the bank, guess what's going to happen? They're going to take that money you put in the bank and they're going to make millions, billions of it, and they're going to give you 0.00002%. So your money is not safe, locked up in some safe in a bank. Your money is actually moving. It's just that you and I don't understand that, because nobody taught us that stuff, right? No one taught us that. We have to learn that, and watch and listen to what other people are doing and say, hey, that's what you're doing, all right? So we end up paying off our debts. And when we pay off our debts, it led us to an opportunity now where we can go take a greater look at take stock. Most people don't take stock, man. You got to take stock. You got to take stock at where you are, and you got to take responsibility for where you are. And one of the problems is we can look back, and that's what my son was telling me this morning. Dad, I got to do this, and I got to do this, and you don't know what I'm going through. And dude, you can't tell me nothing. I know your life. You're not talking to a stranger. You can't tell me nothing. You've made some bad choices. You've done some dumb stuff. And now you're dealing with the consequences, and you think you can borrow your way out of it. No. No, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have to deal with the tape on the floor. And what I said to my boy, I said, listen to me. I love you, man. But I'm trying to get you to the place where you understand that you don't have to be in debt. You're in a great position. You have no children. You really don't have no debt. $3,000 is no debt. $6,000 is no debt. All right? There's people with real debt. And if you're disciplined enough, I hope you're watching this. If you're disciplined enough, you can get out of your debt. I had $60,000 of debt. 60,000. Well, not quite 60,000, but almost there. All right? I was paying child support $400, well, $3.99, 392.8 cents every week coming out of my paycheck. And I had a family of 9 people living in my house. My wife is a domestic engineer. So I was running a house on an $800 rent, which I have to buy oil, pay insurance, pay telephone bill, buy food, the whole 9, ladies and gentlemen, on $350 a week. Go figure that out. $400 of my check gone to child support. And 9 people living in my house on $350 a week. So you can't tell me. We had to go down to the gas station and buy $20 worth of oil. Talk about discipline. You buy $20 worth of oil to throw into the oil tank, which will last for us about 3 days. You get to figure these things out. When you don't have, you can borrow your way through life. You can beg your way through life. You can hope that a miracle just come and happen. And most people want miracle, but they don't want to be in the place to receive one. Or you can work with what you have and work your way out of your issues. So what we did, what my wife and I did, we sit down and look at how much food we eat, how much we can spend on food. We have to pay the phone bill and the light bill. We have to pay the rent. It was hard to pay the rent. You're talking about $350. Do the math here. Let's do the math. I'm just showing you guys something. How a decision, when you make a decision, Yahweh will bless you, man. I'm telling you. $350 times 4, and I don't even get that all the time. That's $1,400 a month. And one thing I can tell you guys, and here's a simple way to manage your life. Here's a simple way. Yeah, you might not be making a lot of money. Things are tough. You're going from paycheck to paycheck. That's 99.9% of the world, right? The numbers are not right, but I'm just exaggerating so you can hear some things, right? Most people live paycheck to paycheck. And that's the norm for us, right? But you don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. You can be disciplined and pay all your bills at the end of the month. So what you can do is, instead of taking the bill and paying this and paying that, hold every darn bill till the end of the month. Yes, some going to be late. So what? Let them be late, and have all that money coming to you at once. And it's going to teach you discipline. And then you pay the first bill first, the rent. You got to pay the rent. If you don't have the rent, the light bill will mean nothing if you don't have a place to light up. The food in the fridge will mean nothing if you don't have a fridge and a place to put it. Pay the rent. The first bill is the rent. So you pay the rent. We're paying $800. $800 coming out of that $1,400. So let's minus $800. 800. We got $600 left. So the rent is paid. Okay? The rent is paid. I have to go to work. So we got to pay the car insurance. At the time, I believe the car insurance was, if I'm correct, it was under $150. If I remember correctly, or maybe. All right, let's just call it $170. Let's call it $170. So let's go 600 minus 170. So we got $430 left. Light bill, thank God, even with 9 people in the house, the light bill never passed $90. So let's call it $90. So we pay the light bill. So we have $340 left. We have 2 phones for me and the wife. That was $100. So let's minus $100. Okay, so we have $240 left. Now I have to put gas in the car. At the time, gas was what? $2 something a gas. So to fill up the $25, we put $25 in there. So minus $25. So we have $215 left. All right, now we have $215. We got to eat. Got 9 people in the house. So you got to buy the food that you can buy. So we take $150. We have $65 left. Okay. Remember I tell you $20 buy some oil for 3 days, right? 3 days you get paid every week. So, I would get paid on Thursday. So if I go 3 days, I know Thursday I can buy another $20 worth of oil. You see what I'm saying? So you minus $20 for oil, $45 left. And you see what I'm saying? That's how I discipline myself. Did I hate it? I hated it. I hated it. Because I felt like all my money's just paying bills. Don't have no money to go out and go eat and have the fun and buy the good things. And I was complaining about that, man. I hated that. Every month, my money's gone. Every month, gone. I never resent my child support because my kids were getting taken care of. I wish I was making more money, but this is what I had to work with. Right? And one day it hit me. It hit me one day. It hit me because I run late. I was always going to work late. When these things are happening in your life, you get stressed. You don't go to bed at the right time, so you don't get up at the right time. So I was always late. And of course, my boss decided. My boss was so lenient to me because I get my work done, man. I don't when I put my mind to getting something done, I'm gonna get done. You know, when I come in from work and it snows outside, I don't come inside. I have to shovel outside. So I just go to work before I come inside. Once I come inside, it's gonna be hard for me to go back out. So I discipline myself. I have certain disciplines that I live by. And I was going to work late, and my boss wouldn't write me up because I would get my work done. If he needs something done, I could get it done and get it done. Beat the time he needed. So he's kind of lenient with me. But someone point me out one day and say, "You writing me up for being late? Mike come to work late all the time. You don't write Mike up." Blah blah blah. So the boss came to me and said, "Mike, my hands are tied. Gotta write you." All right, cool. Hey, I'm late anyway, right? So he wrote me up. So the next day I got up, man, and I said, all right, I'm getting to work on time. I went to bed early. I got up early, and then some traffic. I hit some traffic and some other things. Long story short, I parked my car, rushed to the gate, punched my clock. I was 1 minute late. Here comes my second write-up. 1 minute late. I did everything to get to work on time. 1 minute late. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, that changed my life forever. It makes me start to look at things differently. I start looking at my life differently for that being late. Can you imagine that? And here's what I've learned. Here's what I took away from that. No matter what you did, no matter how you did it, no matter the effort you put in to not be late, if you punch your clock 1 minute past the time and you're late, no matter what you've done, how you've done it, no matter what you've said, no matter how much good of an excuse you have, it doesn't change the facts. The fact is you're late. Now you have a good reason for being late. It doesn't change that. And let me tell you something. That changed my life. Because now I start looking at my bills differently. When gas had gone to $33.40 a gallon, I had a hatchback Ford Escort. Love that little car, stick shift. I could drive 41 miles on a gallon of gas. How do I know? I run out the gas, and then I got a gallon of gas. I throw it in the tank, and I wanted to see, and I brought me another gallon, and I wanted to see how far it would take me. So I knew that I could go 41 miles on a gallon of gas. When you're in a situation where you can do better, but you're at the place now where this is your lot, the fact is you got to work within that. You don't have to stay there. But if you master that, what I'm telling you is that Yahweh will see it and he will bless you. I'm telling you, I found the secret. The secret to life is to make a decision and do it and follow it. That's the secret. It's not really a secret. It's how you think. What the Father says. So a man thinketh, so is the man, right? So the secret to life is to make a decision and follow it. That's why you got to write it down. When you write it down, you solidify it. It's all these rich people and motivational speakers telling you these things. This is Yahweh's word. They use it, and they're getting the benefits of it, and they're making millions of dollars from it. But it's actually Yahweh's word. Why? Because Yahweh stand by what he says. So here's what happened now. Hear how that 1 minute late changed my life. I start to look at my bills differently. And I start to say, wow, I'm supposed to pay the bills. The bills is my life. I wonder how many people got that just now. I got to do a part 2 of this because I don't want to go too much longer on this. I want to stick to an hour and a half. I got to do a part 2. Join me tonight at 8:00. Tonight, right here at 8:00. I said I was going to go to this tour, but I don't have to. Join me tonight right here at 8:00 for part 2 of the gods you are serving, are worshiping, because I don't know why I went through all this spiel. It wasn't planned. I tell you, I wanted to come in here and just do the gods you're serving, but Yahweh wanted you to hear something. Yahweh wanted you to hear something. He wanted me to hear something too. So we're both hearing this for the first time. So join me tonight right here, live, Eastern Standard Time at 8 p.m. for part 2 of the gods you are worshiping. The bills is your life, ladies and gentlemen. And when we hate paying the bills, we hate our lives. And we look at our lives and I hate my life. Because you're dreaming of a better life, but this is the life you have now. And you're dreaming of the one you want tomorrow, but you're not getting what you want tomorrow because you're not taking care of what you have now. What's his name? Miles Monroe, Pastor Miles Monroe, one of my mentor too. Never met the guy. He's dead now. But let me tell you something. I've learned so much from that guy. Check him out. Miles Monroe on YouTube. All right. Monroe's Ministry. Powerful stuff, man. You learn a lot from this guy. Came from nothing too. Yahweh blessed him beyond his wildest dreams because he learned some principles and fundamentals that change his life. And you know, what's so crazy about these fundamentals and principles? You don't have to be a believer in God. You don't have to be a believer in God. If you're doing instinctively what God said, God blesses it anyway. What the Bible says, he falls the rain for the just and the unjust. For the righteous and the unrighteous, he shine the sun. So his principles hold fast, no matter what. Go check out this guy, man. Go check out Miles Monroe. These principles are going to change your lives, ladies and gentlemen. Miles Monroe says, you want a big house, but you're not taking care of the apartment that you're in. If you look around the apartment now, it's a slob. You got clothes everywhere, garbage in the garbage trash can, the dishes in the sink. If someone wants to come to your house right now, you probably won't be able to let them in, right? If you're not taking care of what somebody else's things, how on earth Yahweh is going to trust you with things of your own? If you can be trusted with the little, you can be trusted with the lot. You're looking for a promotion, but you're not taking care of business. You're not going to get that promotion. You're looking for the promotion. Stop looking for the promotion and start looking at what you're doing and be the best at what you do for you, not for, stop competing, man. Oh my gosh. Stop competing against your brother, against your friend. Stop looking at what they got. Start looking at what you, just look at you. Just focus on you, man. Focus on your job. Be the best at your job. Yeah, you're going to have some naysayers and you're going to have some people say, oh, look at him trying to do that because he wants to be promoted. Do it because you know it needs to be done. Have the attitude of a servant. He who is your servant will be the greatest among you. He who wants to be the greatest must be your servant. That's Meka al-Ban Yahushua. You think I come on here because I just want to see my face on YouTube? I want to get people to like me? Man, listen, I could be out there hugging my wife right now. I could lay in bed doing me right now. I don't have to do this. Ain't nobody paid me to do this. I don't have to be here. I'm here because I am blessed to be here. Yahweh has given me this ministry. So I have an obligation to Yahweh to do what he put in me to do. You know how many times I make the quit? I'm done with this. I go focus on me and build my businesses and do my own thing and just take care of my family. But I can't. I'm telling you, I tried it. I tried to not do this anymore. I try it. And that's why sometimes you see like I wasn't coming on, and because I'm like, you know what? I tried it, guys, but Yah put something in me that, and his words will not return to him void. So if I don't do this, it will kill me because it will burn as fire inside of me. So the bills is your life. Be entrusted with those bills. Work it out. Be grateful for it. Because here's the thing. Whether you're here in this part of your life you don't want to be, you're going to have to pay the bills that support the life you have now. When you're at this part where you want to be, guess what's going to happen? You still got to pay the bills to support the life you got then. So if you can't take care of this, what makes you think you're going to be able to take care of that? And that's what I was trying to get my son to see this morning. But you know what he said to me? He said, I expect you to help me. How many of us go before Yahweh expected him to just bless you? I was. You're my father. You got it. I need it. Give it to me. We have that attitude, the genie. I call it the genie mentality. Rub the lamp, man. Okay, Father, I need this. Yahweh is not a genie. You can't rub his lamp. Nor can you work your way into his favor. That's what religion do. If I do this ritual right, if I come to church and give my tithe and sing a cover song and do the mantras and do the ritual, God is going to love me. If I give this to the poor and if I do that and if I keep myself out of trouble and mind my own business, God is going to love me. Yahweh is going to love me. And we do the mantras every day, but we never do what he says. He says, if you do these things, all of these blessings shall come upon. No. Overtake you. You're going to be overwhelmed. In this book, I wrote that I want a 23 to 26 square foot house. That's what I asked for in my book that I wrote down before God, Yahweh. He gave me a 4,000 square foot house. 3,960 to be exact. Okay. All right. I was looking for 5 bathrooms. I was hoping for 2.5, maybe 3. I have 5 bathrooms. I wasn't looking for 2 lots. I was looking for 1. I got 2 lots. I was looking for a nice little swimming pool. I got a 16 by 36 swimming pool. That's by design. That had nothing to do with me. This house been on the market for 4 years. Went to contract umpteen times. It's been on the market for 4 years. Went through contract umpteen times because Yahweh prepared this house for me. And it started with me making decision, and I start loving my bills. I start to thank Yahweh that I had them. That when I paid the light bill, even if I couldn't pay it all, I paid $50. I did the best with what I can to keep the light on. And I was grateful for the light. Can you imagine not having light? Right? So I thank Yahweh for the light. I could charge my phone. I could see. I could cook. You know, we have an electric stove. Right? So I praise Yahweh for the light. I praise Yahweh for the. I was so embarrassed to go down to the gas pump with my gas thing of $20. I was so embarrassed, man. So I was holding my head there, put a hoodie on, nobody sees me. I was so embarrassed. When I come to the house, I was so embarrassed because my oil tank's facing the back, but my neighbors are so close to me, they could see what I'm doing. I was embarrassed to do it, and I was saying, "Oh God, it's so embarrassing." I'm like, and I'm mad at God too. You know, I'm mad at myself, but I'm mad at God too because I'm like, "You can change this." And I'm embarrassed, and I'm pouring in the oil, and sometimes it's heavy, and you know you gotta hold it up in your hand tight, and then the oil start running down your hand, or it's getting to your clothes. And if you know anything about heating oil, when that thing gets on you, man, it's forever to get it out. It's getting into your clothes, running your jacket, and it's snowing, it's cold and frigid. And I pour those oil in that tank. You know, none of my children ever poured oil in the tank. They never had to. They never had to go down to the store and be embarrassed. They never had to buy 1 gallon of gas for the car for $3.40. They didn't know what I was going through. I tell them, but they didn't understand. They didn't experience it. My grandmother did not give us the experience of what it was like running a business. The good thing is I was paying attention. And I remember asking my grandmother, I said, how come she never taught business to us? How come she never taught us to run a business and to have our own? And my grandmother said, because y'all never wanted it, she said to me. And I was like, wow. I said, but you're our parents. You should make us do it. I never learned that lesson till later in life. You never wanted it. In other words, Yahweh is saying it's the life he designed for you is right there, but you got to want it. You got to want it. Do you want it? Because ladies and gentlemen, you don't need nothing, but do you want it? You got to want it. I wanted it. And that's what separates the have from the have not. Those who want it, you got to want it. You got to be hungry for it, man. I want it. I want success. I'm very successful. I'm very rich. I got a God that loves me, a wife that adores me, children, I'm hoping, that respects me. And to respect means to admire. It has nothing to do with beauty or it means to admire. Look up the word. Right? And I have a home, I have cars, I have what I need. So I'm grateful. I'm rich. I'm successful. I got what I need. You got what you need. They make songs about that stuff, man. I got what I need. I have what I need. It's now I'm going after what I want now. But it takes me being in the basement. It takes those times to bring me here. And that's why Steve Harvey and Miles Monroe, these are Black people. You know what I mean? There's a lot of white people out there with a lot of white inspirational stuff, you know? But we live in a country, whether we want to accept it or acknowledge it or not, where it favors the white people, right? And this is not a racist thing. I'm just telling you the truth. You know, coming from a Black background, you have to work twice as hard. You have to work twice as hard just to be equal. You have to fight. You know, you think about you think about your history. You have to fight to be human, for crying out loud. Which nation on earth ever fight, ethnicity on earth ever fight to be human? I mean, you have to fight to be human. You have to fight for rights. You have to fight for equality, fight for survival. Still fighting to this day, right? So you have to work twice as hard just to be equal, just to be, I mean, oh God, just to fit in. So you're working double. But it is the way it is. Don't go kick against the goal. It's the way it is. Thank God we're not like where our ancestors were. So we have an opportunity to make right for our children. And we have to teach them from now the past, the present, and tomorrow. Because they are our now. They are our future, and the future is right now. So we got to teach them. So what I try to do with my kids, and I taught them from young, you can be a millionaire at 15 years old. You know, if you do these simple things. But you see, when you're in a situation where you're not there, when they're looking at you and you're not there, where you're hoping to tell them to be, they will think one of two things. One, they will think you're trying to live your failed life through them. Or how can you advise me? You are right where I'm at. I can advise you because I have the experience. And I'm telling you, you don't have the issues that I have growing up. You don't have child support. You don't have, you know, bunch of kids at a young age. You are at a greater place because you have less responsibility, and you have a father that cares about you and is put you in a place so that you can get the jump start you need. But you wasted that. And now you're like the norm. So I got to that place in my life, man, where I just make decisions. I look at what I want, I look at what I have, and I said to myself, okay, Mike, how are you going to maintain what you have? And one of the things that Jim Rohn taught me this. Jim Rohn said, in time of hardship, people look to cut back. It's a wrong attitude to have. Winners don't cut back. Winners go for the goal. They don't care the stumbling block. They don't care how many people in there. Winners go for the goal. In time of hardship, it's not a time to cut back. It's a time to go forward. We don't retreat. No retreat. No marriage retreat. That's why so many marriages fail. Oh, we're going on a marriage retreat. And they actually call it marriage retreat. What are you retreating to? They should rechange that name. We're going on a marriage forward. Onward, they should call it, instead of a retreat. How many marriages end up in divorce today? Because they're retreating. And they go on a retreat to think they're going to strengthen their marriage. But you ever been on a retreat? I've been on many marriage retreats, and I tell you, some of them are nice and you learn some things, but what do you really come away with? Because everything is superficial. They're not hitting the surface things. They're not getting deep into the nitty-gritty. When they talk about sex, they barely glance over it. You got to talk about sex. I tell people, one of the first things when I counsel married couples, first question I ask them, how's your sex life? That's the first question I ask them. People say, oh, most wives today think all their men think about is sex. That's all they think. And I said to most wives that said that, if that's all he thought about, he wouldn't be with you. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that. But you open your mouth and you're putting out in the atmosphere that all your husband wants is sex. So he's sexually driven and he wants sex from you. You're holding off, and then you finally give it to him. And by the time he gets in there, he releases. Because he has such a build-up, 3 days, 4 days, 4 weeks, he's been holding this built-up. So by the time he gets you, he released. Now you're in the bedroom with him and you're pissed off because you didn't climax. So now you're pissed off with him and you can't understand why he's at that place. And you don't realize that you put him there. How many husband and wife talks about sex? How many husband and wife train each other on sex? I'm telling you something. I have 7 kids with 4 different women. I know a thing or two about sex. And when I married my wife, Janine, I realized I don't know a damn thing about sex. Y'all heard me? I have 7 kids. Well, at the time, 6 kids with 3 women. And before that, I was sexually promiscuous, sleeping around like crazy. I thought I was the man. When I married my wife, Janine, I realized I don't know a damn thing about sex. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, my wife taught me a thing or two about sex. And I can proudly say that. How many of you men can say that? That your wife taught you a thing or two about sex? Because what you don't understand, the woman you sex yesterday, for those who are out there sleeping around, that woman you sex yesterday, you might have a great experience with that woman. The woman you sex today is totally different from the woman you're having sex with yesterday. And you think you're going to bring that relationship over here and it's going to work. You're dealing with a totally different woman. And so you move to the next woman and you think, okay, man, let me tell you something. You're destroying yourselves and you're destroying that woman and you don't even know it. And ladies, that goes for you. You're destroying the man and you're destroying yourself and you don't know it, because one day you're going to get tired of sleeping around and you're going to find Mr. Right. He's there, the one that's right for you. When we say Mr. Right, we think, oh, he has to fit these criteria. And so you put yourself, you give yourself a superficial goal to meet, and you wonder why you're still single. You're destroying yourself. The only sin a man commits with his body, the only sin a woman commit with her body is sexual fornication, sexual sin. It's the only sin you use your body to commit. Every one other sin, yeah, it happens in a spiritual realm. But your body you're joining your body to that person. You don't know what's in that person. You don't know who that person is. And every person that they sleep with, you just slept with that person too. You don't think those spirits are into traveling and possessing you? You don't understand. Believe me, take it from me. I was there. I'm not speaking of something I've heard. I'm speaking my experience. Yeah, my wife taught me a thing or two about sex. My wife taught me how to make love to her. Because you see, when I was making love in the past. I was thinking about this girl who liked that girl who liked this, that girl who liked this. And then I brought it to our bedroom and I'm thinking, I'm the man. I'm going to go in there and do my thing. And I'm going to show myself and kiss myself. I was a big fool. So I have to ask her, what do you like? What do you not like? How does this make you feel? Have the conversation before and after. I've learned a thing or two. So when I go into the bedroom, I know exactly what I'm doing. I remember one time I told my wife, I say, you know what? Instead of letting me try to figure out where these things are, why don't you tell me? I think the first time I said that to my wife, she was like amazed. And then they said, well, she's mindset, right? She said, well, you're supposed to know. Okay. I could see how you would feel that way because I have experience. I'm supposed to know. But wouldn't it be easier and more pleasurable if you tell me where it is? Think of the time that I'm going to spend trying to find where it is when you could tell me where it is. And instead of taking this time to waste, we can take this time for ecstasy. So why don't you try it? So you see, my wife taught me a thing or two about having sex, making love to her. And I taught her a thing or two about making love to me. Because here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, I have some needs too. And if my wife don't know about those needs, then how can she give me? And if she doesn't give me, am I fulfilled? Do I not leave the marriage bed unfulfilled because I didn't get what I wanted? How many times a guy goes in there, bop, bop, couple pumps, and he's done. And he's happy. But he left you unfulfilled. Why don't have that conversation? I'm saying all of these things to say, guys, it fits in with life. It's all part of your life. It's all part of your life. Communication is life. It's key. And these are some of the things that I've learned early in my life. And yes, you know, I have everything I need. I don't have everything I want. I don't have all the money I want yet. I have not fulfilled the money aspect of what I want. I want a certain amount of money flowing in and throughout my life. I don't have that yet. I know, ladies and gentlemen, I don't love money, but I want it. Because money is like oxygen. Money is not everything, but it's like oxygen. All right. The very Bible most people carry don't even realize it's written in there. Money answereth all things. Go figure. You wonder why most people don't have the answers. They don't have the money. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to possess the money. I think that's one of the biggest problems people are having too, because they think they have to possess the money. You don't have to possess the money. Somebody else could hold it. You think I care who have the money? I couldn't care. I don't care who have it. I just want access to it. They use credit card as a way to trap you. Because they give you access to their money, but in the end, you're going to pay for it. So a smart credit card user would take that money to make more money. So if you're going to use a credit card, You better use it to make more money. That was the lesson I learned in the past. I had a credit card, 20 grand on it, and I just went and bought all things and go on trips because I could pay for it. But you see, when that 90, at the time, it was about 14%, 15%. When that 15% hit you, now credit cards are 28, 29, 24% interest. All right, you never paid off. And it's one thing I always tell someone always tell me, you should always have a balance on your credit card. No. You buy something, you pay for it fully. You don't want to pay interest. That's the purpose. You want to use the money, but you don't want to pay interest back. So understanding that, you know what I mean? Use the money to make the money. So I've learned all these things. I'm trying to pass these on to my children. They're a little stubborn, but they're going to get it. Now I'm going to show them, not by words. You know, again, they don't come enough to get the lecture. So when they come, I have to give it to them. And yes, they hate it now. They despise it now. But guess what? Later on, I always tell them, wait till you guys wait till you have kids. Wait till you start having children. So my oldest daughter have 2 children. My second daughter has 1. And my son, my second son, have 1. And they're going to see. And they're going to come back and they're going to kiss my butt. Yep, they're going to know. My parents used to say the same thing to me. Wait till you guys have kids. And I know. I kiss my mother's butt every day. And now she lives with me, so I can kiss it even more. I'm so grateful to my mom. So grateful. Okay? I hope you got something from this morning. Happy Sabbath to you. Remember the Sabbath day. Keep it holy. All right? Take these life lessons and go do something with it. Start appreciating your bills. Thank God you're able to pay them. Yes, it seems like paycheck to paycheck now, but I can tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's an opportunity that Yahweh is giving you to grow you. Lastly, as I close, ask for help from him. Don't go to no man. They can only solve your problem for a second. Don't go and let man give you things. Because when they give you things, they're going to look for something in return. Let Yahweh give you. Because when Yahweh give you, man, you're blessed forever. You understand? You ask him to make you a blessing for a blessing. Ask him to make you the blessing for some other people. That's what I ask Yahweh for right now. I want to be able to bless lives. And I said to him, I said, you know, I'm going to be like Steve Harvey. Everything you do for me, I'm going to tell people. I'm going to tell people about what you've done for me. And that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm hoping that you're getting a lot from it. And I hope that it will change your life. Because if it's not change your life, if you just like my voice and you just like to hear me say stuff, you like to watch me smile and my antics and whatever, and my mistakes when I speak and all my bad words that I use incorrectly or whatever, if these are the things that fascinate you, then you're losing out. If you're here for me, you're losing out. I want you to be here for what I'm saying, the word of Yahweh. Because that is life. The word is life. His commandments is life. And it has changed my life. And I'm telling you, I was in the pits. I was suicidal. I thought about it. And I'm telling you, Yahweh turned me around. But I'm telling you guys, when he did, he didn't take me out of my situation. I want to make that sink in just a little bit, man. I want that sink in just one more bit. Can I make that sink in just a little bit? When I asked Yahweh, he didn't take me out of my situation. Let me say that one more time. When I prayed for Yahweh's help, he didn't take me out of my situation. He changed my mindset. He showed me my life. And he changed my mind. He renewed my mind. And he put me right back in the same situation. I was in the same situation with a different mindset. You're praying for a deliverance, and you think he's going to deliver you out of Egypt. No, he's going to deliver you out of your mind so you can walk out of Egypt. Did they not walk out of Egypt? Yahweh bless you. Shabbat Shalom. Alalo af Yahweh. I serve the Creator God. Yahweh is his name. Join me tonight, right here, live, 8 o'clock. Let's get into it. I'm just going to hit it. The gods you are worshiping. The gods you are worshiping. Peace and love.